What's going on, everyone? Austin John Please here, and today I'm going to be going over how you can get every rare Pokemon in Pokemon Legends Z-A's Mega Dimension. For the last 9 years, I've covered rare spawns in every Pokemon game and DLC, and this one works a little bit different. I'm almost done with my entire form living dex for the DLC, but there's still a few more things I need here and there, and I think this is a great time to go over rare spawns in this game. There are two things that influence when Pokemon spawn. One is what star level that hyperspace wormhole is, and two is the type of Pokemon that's going to be present in the hyperspace wild zone. This one is a 1-star, it's normal, you're going to be finding 1-star normals, and it's showing 3 birds. There's a lot of Pokemon that only become available once you start to hit 2-star hyperspace wild zones. But once you start getting to 3-star, that's when things start getting a little bit more rare. The 4-star wild zones are once you start to get to the really rare Pokemon that are going to be showing up here. And then you have very rare Pokemon that only show up in 5-star hyperspace. The 5-star hyperspace wild zones are only found after you beat the boss, and then after you beat the boss, which is the one that answers like, oh yay, you got the legendary Pokemon that I wanted. Then you get access to something called special scans. If you look at my bottom right, hyperspace survey points go up to 25,000. In perpetuity, every 25,000 points, I'm gonna get to do a special scan thanks to Corbeau. And those special scans are gonna be opening very, very exclusive 5-star hyperspace wormholes. These 5-star hyperspace wormholes can have some legendary Pokemon, some mythical Pokemon, and a bunch of these rare spawns. This is what I'm going over today. Shout out to Joe Merrick and Sarah B for compiling all this information by hand without a data mine on what Pokemon are going to be spawning at what levels. With this, we can see Pokemon that are spawning at which star levels and making your either shiny hunting or dex completion a lot easier. For example, the Kanto starters show up in 1-star spawners, so you don't even need to progress with the story in order to start hunting those. Cool. Keep in mind, almost all of these alpha chance is 1%. Do any of them have something that doesn't say 1%? Nope. Every single one is 1%. Okay, every alpha is a 1% chance. Probably why we have alpha power. Just to let you know, anytime that I say spawns in a 1-star, that means that it spawns in a 1-star or higher. It can also be part of its evolutionary spawner, meaning that if you see a Gyarados spawner, Magikarp can be there. The only exception to this is for the 3-stage Pokemon evolutionary lines. For example, you'll see the 3rd stage Ampharos advertised to you, so that's an Ampharos spawner, and you're going to be seeing Flaffy, the 2nd form, but you're not going to see Mareep, the 1st form. The Hoenn starters only appear in 2-star wild space hyperzones. For me, I got my Trico pretty easily just by fast traveling over and over. I didn't even use Sparkling Power for this. Once we get to 3-star spawns, we can actually start to see some actually rare and unique Pokemon in here. For example, Galarian Slowpoke is now going to be in here, so now you can get Galarian Slowpoke and Slowking and Slowbro with the extra Galarcia items that you had from the base game, and you can alpha hunt these, so that's neat. Likewise, we now have Galarian Farfetch'd, which is the only one that evolved to Surfetch'd via doing 3 critical hits in a single battle. Does it have to be holding a leak? No, it doesn't have to, but the leak does increase its critical hit ratio, so there's that. This is also where you could find Galarian Mr. Mime, which Mime Jr. does not evolve into Galarian Mr. Mime, either in the hyperspace wild zones or in Lumio City. So this is your only way to get Mr. Mime and Mr. Rhyme. Mr. Rhyme can spawn in the hyperspace wild zones, by the way. And Porygon starts to spawn at level 3. I have yet to get a Porygon. It's actually one of my last 3 Pokemon I need. Here we could also find Hisuian Quillfish, which is the only one that evolves to Overquill via Barb Barrage doing 20 times? Yeah, using Barb Barrage 20 times. In 3-stars, where we also see the 2nd forms of the Hoenn starters. 3-stars when you can finally find yourself as Seviper. This is also where you can start finding yourself Throw and Sawk. And Galarian Yamask, which is the only one that evolves to Runarigus, as opposed to Koffagrigus, which evolves from regular Yamask. Oh, don't you have to go between 2 specific places after taking 47 hit points of damage? To receive 49 points of damage, not be knocked out, walk underneath the bridge between Wild Zones 11 and 17. That's it. Weird, man. Shout out to the random person who found that out. 3 stars where you could also find yourself Cryogonal. Here's where you could also find Aromatisse and Slurpuff. So now you no longer need to trade for those. I know that you could also get Steelix and Scissor in 4 stars, so now no trade evolutions are required if you have the DLC whatsoever, so that's neat. That was a complaint of a lot of people. Oh, and here we also find in the wild the fossils. Now the fossils can also appear in 5-star special wild zones in which it's just all 3 of the fossils in there. Mimikyu also spawns in 3-star and higher.
Be sure to catch an extra Mimikyu as you have to give one away for a side quest.
Male and female Indeedee in 3-star and higher. Now we're getting into 4-star, which has a lot of evolutions, but I'm really just going to be talking about all the exclusive ones and anything really cool or notable like Charizard's here. Kind of like that guy. Yeah. And Blastoise. Oh, perfect time to point out that I'm wearing the new merch, the very affordable line of merch by Austin John Plays that takes inspiration from the palette tones of number 9. Non-trademark infringing merch here, and on the sleeves, we have the logo in a matching font. Get yours today at austinjohnplays.com/merch. It's not just number 9, there's a bunch of them. Here you could find in the wild a Alolan Raichu, so if you wanted to alpha hunt or shiny hunt one, there you go. Keep in mind there is no way to evolve Pikachu into a Alolan Raichu in this game. 4-star is also when you're going to find a Alolan Marowak. Likewise, just with Raichu, there is no way to evolve Cubone into a Alolan Marowak, so you have to catch one as a Alolan Marowak. Steelix and Scissor and Slowking all spawn here in the 4-star hyperspace wild zones. Fun fact, Alpha Slowking, the cloister on his head, its eyes are glow red too. Speaking of Alpha having weird eye glows, did you know that Graveyard doesn't have eyes whatsoever? Kecleon, that's a rare one for a bunch of people, only spawns in 4 stars, very easy catch rate. Like, if that thing shows up, you can just power through it, no problem. Galarian Stunfisk is here, so here you can alpha hunt it and shiny hunt it. And Cleaver can also be here in the 4-star hyperspace wild zones as well. Here's where you could also find the 3 different forms of Tatsugiri. I've seen Tatsugiri show up on the spawner, and it's only the form 0, the curly form. But then for the droopy form and the other form, for me, they only showed up with a Dondozo spawn. So when Dondozo was there, that's when the yellow and the pink Tatsugiri spawned for me. There's also reports of people saying that in the wild, Dondozo can eat a Tatsugiri and enter its commander form. Supposedly, if one is in your party, Dondozo gets an Omni boost for 45 seconds, cannot switch out even after the 45 seconds. And Order Up still works for like Attack Up or something. So that might be a neat water type to add to your team, especially if you have a slot that you're not really using. I can't wait to see if this is actually useful online. 5 stars, we're getting to the juicy stuff here. And this is a great time for me to say, if you've seen my face 3 times for this game and I've helped you out and you want to say thank you, you can do that by just looking at the subscribe button. Just look at it. See if you're subscribed. If you want to subscribe for me helping you as a way to say thanks, I would appreciate that. In which case, you're welcome. Lots of final forms in here. Porygon-2 shows up here. You do get a Porygon-2 from the trade, and he gives you the item to evolve Porygon-2.
Since this is not from a data mine, and this is all experiences from myself and Joe Merrick of Cerebi, these areas are subject to change and expand. Any changes would be a Pokemon is available at an earlier level and we just haven't seen it yet. And also there may be other Pokemon available in the special 5-star wormholes, just because they are harder to actually get to spawn since you do need the 25,000 points.
I and Joe have yet to see Porygon-z. So that might be the only Pokemon that requires a trade evolution now in the entire game. Or we just haven't found it yet. Completely possible. We just haven't found it yet. That's definitely a thing. If you do find Porygon-z in a special 5-star wild space zone, leave it in the comments down below so we can add that. This is also where you can find Rotom and all of its forms. I found that hyperspace wild zone and it was really fun and chaotic because all the spawners have all the different Rotom forms. Also, for some reason, this Alpha Rotom decided to just climb up the wall. I guess even the wild Pokemon have a problem with pathfinding in the DLC. This is also where you could find Hisuian Sliggoo and Hisuian Goodra. I found these in my Frigibax Baxcalibur one. This is also the only place to find the entire Frigibax line. I did not expect to see Hisuian Sliggoo, which we knew was supported in the base game, but to now actually see it here in the wild, pretty great. Hisuian Avalugg. Have not seen that at all. And Overquill. And lastly is Gimmighoul. Gimmighoul, chest form only, is in the wild space hyper zones, and it is not shiny locked. Don't know if you saw my posts about that. There you can see shiny Gimmighoul. They're also a timid species, so they do flee. But after just a few more fast travels, and I had probably the best dish possible for this. There you go. Wild shiny Gimmighoul in the wild. Yeah, because I needed to say wild twice. There's all the rare spawns in the game. If you're missing anything from your decks, I hope you find it. I also found this post to be important because now that this website is live, I even saw a post on Reddit that someone was like, I've reset for hours, I haven't gotten a 5-star yet. And I hope I explained that well for those people. Well, great. Guys, if you found this information helpful, which I know you did, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button down below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and until next time, Austin John out.
Man, they see me shining like I got the charm.
Hi. Just to let you know, anytime that I say 1 star, just know that I mean that it can spawn in a 1 star or a 2 star.
Know how, check out Austin John, champion flow. Yeah, I got that champion flow. Yeah, I got that champion flow. Hey, I got that champion flow.